Hello there. Welcome to the advanced guide for Dante and punishing Grey Raven. This guide aims to cover everything related to Dante's kit to make the most advanced combos. Do note that this won't cover any rotation or teammate synergies for Dante. In this guide, I will explain all the hidden techs and tricks of Dante, which will be very helpful for this kind of content. If you want to master Dante combos, keep watching. You will see things that won't be explained or seen anywhere else.
Finish!
Let's talk about Dante's kit first. He has Faust as yellow orb, Balrog as blue orb, and DSD as red orb. Both Balrog and DSD act as a weapon switch button. When they're selected, pressing the weapon icon again triggers an attack, which we will call it weapon attack from now on.
Hell yeah! Go back to hell!
Faust can be pressed at any time with any weapon equipped, acting as a weapon attack in the air and as a finisher in the ground. As for the guns, when you have Balrog equipped, you can use the shotgun, and with DSD you have the pistols. Guns for Dante are only for stylish purposes because they don't even count as a basic attack. With any of the weapons equipped, tapping basic attacks gives you signal orbs, which are the roses you see above the weapon icons. It's important to know that only the basic attacks give you orbs. Weapon attacks instead consume them. Now, going into the core mechanic of Dante, Devil Arm Gauge. This bar right here acts as the core mechanic of Dante. Every time you perform a weapon attack, it fills half of the gauge, and at the same time, consumes your signal orbs up to 3 per attack. At full gauge, by holding basic attack on Balrog or DSD, you perform Real Impact or Dance Macabre, respectively.
Let me show you what I've got. Take this.
If your bar is empty or half empty, Balrog performs Divine Dragon by holding the minimum amount. It does Rising Dragon if you keep holding longer. As for Dance Macabre, it's the same move if you keep holding the basic attack button, but you can cancel it entirely after each attack is done. Do note, and this is very important, that you can't cancel Real Impact or Dance Macabre by any means when you perform them with your gauge full. This can kill you in certain situations, so beware. If you noticed, the gauge has a number. This number goes from 0 to 1000. It can be filled when you perform Red Hot Night, Dance Macabre, or Real Impact with full gauge. Let's call these moves finishers. The amount of points gained are determined by basic attacks and orbs consumed, and you will know how many points you will gain based on how much this letter is filled up.
Go back to hell.
When is full, it gives up to 600 per finisher. Consuming 3 signal orbs fills up half the letter, while auto-attacking gives you much less. It's possible to fill up the bar without consuming orbs at all, but it takes longer. Consuming more than 6 orbs before doing a finisher won't fill your gauge past 600 points, so make sure to not waste more orbs than necessary. Red Hot Night can be used instantly, and it consumes your orbs when you hold the weapon icon for more damage. Spamming this move without any orbs won't give you any points.
Let me show you what it's showtime!
This finisher can consume up to 12 orbs at once, and fill the bar by only 300 points max, even if the letter is full. The more orbs consumed, the more damage it does. It also fills the bar if it's empty, before draining it again. As for the other finishers, they can be done by only filling the gauge with weapon attacks. If the letter is empty, or if you don't have any signal orbs, it will give you 200 points. Now, what does this number do? It's attached to Sin Devil Trigger. When you have more than 800 points and enough energy, holding the ultimate casts Judgment instantly. If you have 800 points or less, holding it casts Sin Inferno. This amount of points are transferred to Sin Devil Trigger if you use your ultimate by only tapping it. The maximum amount is 1,000 points. When you are in SDT form, your gauge goes full, and your color orbs are consumed by draining it. You can get up to 400 points by using your orbs in this form. So if you want to reach 1,000 points, make sure to have 600 before transforming to SDT. If you don't reach at least 850 points when you're in SDT form, tapping the ultimate again casts Sin Inferno. With 850 or more, cast Judgment. You can accumulate signal orbs in SDT form by doing basic attacks, but there's no way to consume them. You need to go back to human form. As soon as your gauge is drained in SDT form, you can't perform any color orbs anymore. Now that Dante's basic kit is explained, let's go to what we like from DMC, tech and tricks. Let's start off with cancels. Dante can cancel any attack with guard stance, which is done by pressing dodge. Remember, the only attacks that can't be cancelled are the weapon finishers, except Red Hot Knight, which can be cancelled with guard, trick up, dodge, or high time. In order to cancel this attack, you need to do it very early. This also triggers Matrix, so you can use it as a Quicksilver kind of. Guard in the ground has a very short animation. You can't do anything for half a second after pressing guard, which means that if you use it for combos, you're gonna slow down your strings by a lot. Instead, you can use it in the air without a cooldown at all. This will act very similar to a jump cancel if you use it fast enough to chain attacks, and works for every move made in the air, including ground trick. As for the ground cancels, there's a general rule. All cancels can be made using guard, dodge, trick up, or high time. This last one can be cancelled with the other three methods as well. And it can cancel itself. As for guard, not only can you cancel moves, but also you can hold the dodge button a tiny bit longer to execute Royal Release, which is also an attack that juggles the enemy. This is very helpful for combo making because it acts as a bridge. You can act almost instantly after performing Royal Release, so this has great combo potential. Let's talk about ground trick a bit more. This can only be performed in the air by holding the jump button. This move can cancel any air attack, and what's better, the move itself can be cancelled with any attack as well. It doesn't consume any stamina, and unlike Trick Up, doesn't have a limit use. You can spam ground trick cancels until you're in the ground. This is really useful to create unique interactions. Air trick can be used only once. You need to reach the ground in order to perform it again. The same goes for air hike. As for the SDT cancels, you can cancel basic attacks and the Umbra by dodging or going back to human form. The first frames of the Loose and Sin Stinger can be cancelled as well, but only with dodge. Once these attacks triggers Matrix, you can't cancel them with anything. Demolition can't be cancelled by any means. The Phantom Swords cancel is back, but unfortunately, they don't juggle. By cancelling the second basic attack of DSD, the Phantom Swords will keep hitting your target, doing very tiny damage. The swords, however, can be used for parries. Guns are a core part of Dante's identity, and here we can use and spam them however we want. Faust is technically not a gun, as it's part of Dante's core passive. Both shotgun and the pistols are here only for stylish purposes. They don't consume orbs, they don't give you orbs, they do little damage, and you won't use them if you want to be effective. But we're here for styling, so let's talk about what we can do with them. By tapping the gun button with the pistols, Dante fires twice. It acts the same, both in the ground and in the air. You can cancel the second shot with the methods we've seen earlier. If you hold the gun button and hold your desired direction, you can fire infinitely while walking. In the air, you need to constantly tap the gun button to fire at a very high rate. Holding any direction, while pressing the gun button in the air, Dante will execute Rainstorm, moving at the direction you are holding. A very interesting thing. If you cancel Rainstorm as soon as the first hit happens, all the next bullets will hit regardless of what you're doing. Another trick, pressing the gun button in the ground with no movement press at all, forces Dante to stay in the gun animation for half a second after firing. This isn't good if you want to make a combo with guns in mind. Fortunately, there's a way to bypass this. If you hold the gun button, and right after, hold any direction and very quickly release both inputs, Dante fires the pistols and cancels the forced animation. This means you can act right after releasing both inputs, shortening the animations a lot. Look at the example. Shotgun is very powerful for combos because it does a knockback. You can hold the gun button to fire infinitely at a relatively low rate. By holding any direction and pressing the gun button, Dante does Gun Stinger. If you want to move while attacking with the shotgun, you need to hold the gun button and then hold your desired direction. Don't stop pressing these two inputs. In the air, the shotgun is really simple, as it's only a gunshot that knockbacks. By constantly canceling this with guard, you can see Dante going upwards. The rose shotgun trick is back. You can throw a rose and push away the enemy with the shotgun, so it connects and launches. Just like the pistols, firing up in the ground has an awkward animation that can't be cancelled. This can be bypassed the same way as the pistols. Hold the gun button, hold any direction, and quickly release both. You can even chain together this trick with both guns, but this requires a very good technique. It's very important that you start holding any direction after holding the gun button. If not, Dante will perform Gun Stinger. If you keep holding the button and any direction after an attack, Dante will quickly do a shotgun shot that can be instantly cancelled. By holding the core passive icon in the air, Dante performs the Rose Throw, which acts as a taunt. This launches the enemy, and its animation can be cancelled quickly. It does no damage and cannot parry.
Now the fun.
You hover after doing it, useful to keep in the air. By only pressing the core passive gauge, Dante performs High Times, a passive move using his DSD summoned swords. This move launches, and Dante can freely do any action in the meantime, which means you can blend it in all of your combos. By pressing the core passive gauge, while also pressing any direction, Dante performs Stingers. It's another form of the DSD swords, but this one heavily pushes the enemy backwards and hits up to 5 times. Both summoned swords can be used for parries. SDT is the ultimate of Dante. Can be used by tapping the icon or holding it. By holding it, Dante always performs a finisher, depleting all your energy. If you only tap being on the ground, Dante stabs himself and enters SDT form. We've seen how the SDT kit works, but here are additional things you want to know as well. All the SDT color orbs triggers Matrix upon using it. By dodging while holding any direction, Dante performs Advent. This is a dodge that covers a lot of distance and very useful to get away from the danger. If you simply spam dodge with no directional press, Dante performs Shift, also known as SDT side dodge. By pressing the core gauge in SDT form, Dante goes back to human form without needing to use a finisher. If you press the ultimate in the air, Dante performs Quick SDT, which means it has no animation at all when entering SDT form, very useful for fast-paced gameplay. You can stay in SDT form as much as you want, it doesn't have a time limit. Here comes the interesting part. You can cycle your energy by using your orbs in SDT form and going back to human again. You only need to deplete half of the bar to get your ultimate energy back. This means we have SDT available all the time we want if we manage the cycle correctly. Dante can dodge normally by using any directional and pressing dodge. If you perform this in the air, Dante dodges with his Sky Star animation. Dante has a special interaction with the dodge meter. He regains his meter way faster if he's in the air. By only pressing dodge, Dante uses Royalguard, blocking the upcoming attack. This depletes your dodge bar just like a normal dodge. By holding the dodge button a little bit and releasing it, Dante can perform Royal Release, which is a counterattack. And if you perform this when an enemy is about to attack, Dante performs a Just Release. Holding the dodge button indefinitely forces Dante to stay in Royalguard stance, blocking all incoming attacks. If no attacks are blocked, the bar is getting depleted slowly until you release the button. If an attack is successfully blocked while you still hold your dodge button, Dante recovers dodge meter. By blocking attacks consecutively, Dante can stay invincible, blocking any kind of attacks, including the dot from Phantom Pain Cage. Doing a perfect block or a normal block doesn't have any changes as far as I know, except for the visual and audio effects. The counterattack of Just Release does the same damage regardless of the blocks you performed before. Also, Just Release can't parry, unlike Royal Release, which in fact does. Performing a block in the air counts as a perfect block always, and you can't block or release afterwards for a short period of time. You're invulnerable in that period of time. Trick Up and Ground Trick have invincibility frames, but Ground Trick does not consume dodge meter. Jump does not have invincibility frames. If you activate SDT in the ground, SDT will act as Dante grounded, and the dodge meter will be recovered as normally. Instead, if you use Quick SDT, which is needed to be in the air to perform, his SDT form will regain the dodge meter way faster due to Dante being threatened as in the air always. In order to use Cavaliere as an active weapon, You need to set the skill from the cub itself. When the cub is not filled, Dante can press the cub button to ride the motorcycle. By only pressing, Dante does redline. If you continue pressing the button after redline, Dante will perform the Cavaliere combo. You can cancel redline with any action pretty quickly, and it has a very good parry hitbox. Also, this helps as a transition from the ground to the air to perform quick SDT. Doing redline consumes your signal orbs and also fills your core gauge, just like a weapon attack. Doing any Cavaliere attacks does not give you signal orbs. If the cub is filled up, pressing the button will summon the bike to perform an attack itself that juggles the enemy. Or the second option is to perform a move gathering the enemies around it. Let's cover some of the tricks you can perform as Dante. First of all, let's talk about the reversals. Dante has 3 different attacks that can go under the enemy when they are in the air, which are
Go back to hell! Hell yeah! Raining bullets!
unlike Stinger, which stops as soon as it hits the enemy, without traveling further distance. This enables what I call reversals, which is doing an attack contrary to the enemy's facing. The most common reversals are these ones.
Go back to hell!
There is also a trick for Gunstinger. After a heavy jolt, doing Gunstinger changes Dante's trajectory to the side. Instead of going directly to the enemy, it looks like he's doing a reversal.
Hell yeah!
This is a very rare tech that I'm still experimenting with. After launching the enemy with high time, depending on the next move you will perform, you need to execute a fixed amount of attacks, and the next one won't displace the enemy regardless of the move you're executing. So far, this works best when doing Firestorm in any attack, resulting in the next one not displacing the enemy at all. Rising Dragon in the short dance macabre pulls your target towards you. If you cancel these moves, the pull effect still applies. Just like in DMC 5, Dante can do ground trick cancel. We've seen how you can perform Rainstorm this way, but here is the trick. Doing Rainstorm after a ground trick cancel will force Dante as the next action to be a grounded one. This opens up a lot of possibilities because you have a guaranteed transition from the air to the ground by only attacking. After using some basic attacks with DSD, Dante acquires Phantom Swords for some of his other moves, including Balrog. I found so far the fastest way to acquire them is to use the second attack of DSD. Attacks with Phantom Swords have an easier time to parry because the swords hit separately. There are 2 ways to execute Million Stabs. The first way is by doing the third, Dante's basic attack. The other way is to keep pressing Red Orb after a Stinger. But here comes the trick. When you execute Stinger, you have a short window to make any other action before doing Million Stabs. You can incorporate guns, Balrog's jab, or the first basic of DSD in that period of time.
Hell yeah!
Royal Release works too. This little trick works for Heavy Jolt as well, but this window is even shorter. Dante's QTE is a quick attack that can be incorporated in combos with multiple characters. His switch-in attack is Stinger. You can keep pressing DSD attack to make a second Stinger. By learning every trick we've seen so far, we can combine everything together to create unique combos, like this one.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Go back to hell!
Reaching the end, I want to talk a bit about how Dante interacts with PGR enemies. I suggest practicing in the void mode your combos, because the enemies don't have any super armor there. If you see an enemy with a yellow bar below the HP bar, it means the enemy can't be displaced until you break that bar. This is awful for combo making, so avoid any enemy or stage with this in mind unless you want to freestyle. As for the boss fights, take in mind, Dante has a very easy time compared to other characters to deal with all bosses due to recovering stamina faster in the air and Royalguard potentially blocking everything. Do note, however, that grabs and some coded attacks can't be blocked like this one's.
Hell yeah! Now the fun begins. Now the fun begins.
Some attacks that seem to have a really easy parry window can be tricky because you can get hit. For example, Real Impact can parry easily, but you take damage if you don't time it correctly. Real Impact without any signal orbs is the fastest way to get back your energy for SDT activation, but you need to be careful doing it against bosses.
Hell yeah! Let me show you what I've got. Take this!
When playing solo, Dante has a hard time to make significant damage with normal attacks due to him being an ignition-type character. He needs to cast his finishers and SDT in order to make good damage. This may result in very long fights if you don't want to spam your ultimate.
Finish!
However, in Celica class, you can adjust the HP of the enemies. This won't have any impact in the fight itself, because the difficulty is literally the same. If your Dante is base S rank, it will be exactly the same as SSS Plus for this kind of content, since the only thing that changes through ranks is damage and multipliers. The only thing you need to be aware of is the SS rank effect, which triggers an attack every 2 seconds up to 4 times when you switch off Dante after Judgment. This effect only matters in combos being made with multiple characters, because the off-field attack can ruin your juggling. Dante's signature weapon gives you more signal orbs and an easier time to cycle between SDT and human form, but it doesn't add anything new. However, if you pull for his signature, I recommend resonating it with this option, which gives you 400 more dodge meter, most useful in freestyle and boss fights. That's it. I hope you find this guide useful. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. Don't forget to like the video, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Finish!